You open a banking app, and the numbers on the screen aren't just disappointing, they're mocking you. $734. Or, if it was a good month, $216. And that first thousand feels as unreachable as a flight to Mars on a homemade rocket. Meanwhile, some financial guru on the internet confidently declares, once you save $10,000, the next $10,000 will come twice as fast. And you, wincing, think, sure, easy to say when you already have $1 million, while I'm here trying to survive on a salary that lasts exactly until the next payday. But here is what no one actually tells you. That guru isn't lying. Moreover, they are even underselling it. Because the difference between the first 1,000 and the next 10 is not just arithmetic. It is a psychological war in which your main opponent is your own brain. My name is Sem, and I spend too much time trying to understand why some people easily build capital while others, no matter how hard they try, stay in one place. If you are tired of feeling like money is slipping through your fingers despite all your efforts, welcome. Here, we won't talk about magic pills or secret investments. We will break down why your brain sabotages your finances and how to reprogram it. Why is the first 1,000 a battle with your psychology? When you think of wealthy people, what do you imagine? Surely someone who never knew money problems, or someone who knew how to save and invest since childhood as if they had some secret financial gene that you didn't get. But the truth is that the difference between those who build wealth and those who don't has almost nothing to do with income. It has to do with how your brain perceives money and how you can trick it. The first money saved feels the hardest, precisely because you have to change your habits and mindset. At this moment, you are learning to set money aside, control impulsive spending, and see value in a long-term goal. And once this psychological barrier is crossed, moving forward becomes much easier. Your brain is programmed to spend, not save. Imagine yourself 50,000 years ago. Your ancestor finds berries. Eating them now means survival, while setting them aside for tomorrow means risking death by hunger. Human psychology was formed in exactly these conditions, which is why our brain still partially works on the same principle. Spending equals survival, saving equals danger. When you try to save money, your brain may perceive it as a threat, and practically screams, "What if this money is gone tomorrow?" As a result, instead of investing or saving funds, you buy another cup of coffee, a new gadget, or dinner at a restaurant just to calm ancient instincts and get a quick dopamine signal of safety. The modern world has changed, but our biology changes very slowly, so impulsive spending often feels more natural than discipline. However, there is a life hack. As soon as you overcome the first psychological barrier, those very $1,000, the brain begins to perceive savings not as a deprivation, but as a small victory. From this point on, every new amount starts to provide a sense of progress and control, and the desire to save money gradually becomes stronger than the desire to spend it immediately. The easy money effect. Why a bonus burns faster than a salary. Your brain divides money into two categories. Hard money, the salary you earned with blood and sweat, which feels painful to spend, and easy money, gifts, bonuses, tax refunds, which can be blown on nonsense without a guilty conscience. This is called the house money effect. This is why, when you get a bonus, your brain immediately whispers, "Go on, finally buy that gadget you've wanted for so long," even though rationally this money could have become your first investment capital. Our consciousness tends to treat unexpected money less seriously because it isn't linked to the effort and time we put into earning it. Because of this, people often miss the chance to turn occasional income into the foundation of future capital. How to trick the brain. Use the 2 4-hour rule. Any easy money, bonuses, gifts, tax refunds is automatically transferred to an investment account so that you don't even have time to think about spending. Another simple trick is to rename the account and call it My Freedom, which gradually reprograms your perception of money and makes investments emotionally significant. Such a small change can noticeably increase the likelihood that the money will work for your future rather than disappear on random purchases. Childhood. Money scripts. Invisible programs in your head. Now, phrases heard in childhood may live in your head. Money is the root of all evil. The rich are greedy. We don't deserve this. These beliefs often continue to quietly manage behavior even in adult life, even if you no longer consciously agree with them. For example, if you often heard the phrase, "we can't afford that," as a child, your brain may automatically block any attempts to save money because a sense of constant lack becomes anchored inside. And if money was a taboo subject in the family, you might grow up with an internal feeling that talking about finances is awkward or even shameful. Such mindsets form hidden limitations. A person can earn more but still subconsciously sabotage capital growth. To change this, it is important to first realize the source of these thoughts. Write down all the money phrases you heard as a child and look at them from the outside. Then replace them with new beliefs. For example, money provides freedom instead of money is evil. Action helps to reinforce the new mindset. Start small, open an account, name it My Financial Freedom, and put even $10 in there. Such a symbolic step helps the brain start forming a new association with money, not fear and limitation, but control and opportunities. Over time, it is from such small actions that a new financial identity is formed. The mathematics of acceleration explains why the second thousand comes faster than the first. Let's say you save $100 a month and invest it at 7% per year. You will accumulate the first $1,000 in about 10 months. That's 10 months of giving up extra spending, 10 months of doubt, and 10 months where it seems like almost nothing is changing. At this stage, progress feels slow because it's almost entirely your discipline doing the work. But then an interesting thing starts to happen. The money gradually starts helping you earn new money. The next $1,000 might arrive in about 9 months, the third in 8, the fourth in 7. This happens because now not only your efforts are working for you, but also the accumulated capital, which starts generating income. The compound interest effect kicks in when profit also begins to generate profit. The larger the portfolio becomes, the more noticeable this acceleration effect. When your capital reaches about $10,000, another 1,000 can appear in just 2-3 months. What took almost an entire year at the very beginning eventually starts happening much faster and almost unnoticed. In fact, the system starts working for itself while you simply continue to stick to the chosen strategy. That is why the hardest part of the journey is the beginning, when you need to create the first foundation of capital. The secret is not in the money, but in the scale. If you invested $100 and got a 10% profit, you'll have an extra $10. It's nice, but it's unlikely to change your life much. But if that same 10% comes to a capital of $10,000, that's $1,000 in profit, an amount that truly feels significant and can affect your financial capabilities. At the same time, you are using the exact same tools as the person who started with $1,000. The difference is only in the scale, which over time turns small percentages into tangible progress. That is why the main task at the start of the path is not to look for the perfect investment, but to gradually increase the capital base. The larger the foundation becomes, the stronger the growth effect works. At some point, you begin to notice that the money is growing faster than before, even though your actions have hardly changed. Reprogramming the personality. Who are you now? By saving the first $1,000, you have done more than just fill an account. You have rebuilt your neural connections and proven to yourself that you are capable of controlling impulses and making long-term decisions. This psychological shift often turns out to be more important than the amount itself. Now, buying an expensive coffee no longer causes mental anguish because you understand where your real financial boundaries lie. You see your priorities more clearly and begin to make decisions more consciously. Most importantly, you have proven to yourself that you are capable of great financial achievements. And when a person begins to believe in their ability to manage money, their behavior and results gradually begin to change. From threats to opportunities, how your life changes. When you have $1,000 and then $10,000 in the bank, your relationship with money and with life in general begins to gradually change. Unexpected expenses stop feeling like a catastrophe and turn into just a task that can be solved. You begin to feel more calm and confident because you have a financial cushion. Gradually, you begin to notice opportunities that you previously simply ignored or were afraid to consider. This could be a new job, education, investments, or even an idea for your own project. A financial reserve provides space for decisions, rather than just reactions to problems. As a result, you stop living in a mode of constant survival and start consciously building your future. And it is at this moment that money begins to fulfill its main function, giving you freedom of choice. The reward trap: why you shouldn't spend the first thousand. Many people, having saved their first $1,000, think, I deserved a break, and spend that money on entertainment, purchases, or short-term pleasures. This seems logical. After months of discipline, you want to feel a reward for your efforts. But it is at this moment that many make a strategic mistake that returns them back to zero. Don't do this. This money is not a bonus or a prize. It is the foundation of your future capital. If you imagine financial growth as a tree, the first thousand is the seed. If you eat the seed, there will simply be no tree. It is much more important to preserve this first capital and allow it to start working for you. When you don't spend the first accumulated sum, you create a psychological signal to yourself: this money already belongs to your future, not to today's desires. It is this approach that gradually forms the habit of protecting and growing capital, rather than resetting it for the sake of short-term pleasures. Over time, this discipline becomes the key factor that distinguishes people with growing assets from those who are constantly starting the path of accumulation over again. Your future starts today. $1,000 won't make you rich tomorrow, but it can make you a different person, one who begins to consciously manage their life instead of just drifting with the flow of circumstances. The most important change happens not in the bank account, but in the mindset. You begin to see yourself as a person capable of building capital step by step. It is these small decisions that, over time, form large financial results. Start today. Open a MyFreedom account. Set up an automatic transfer of $50, $100 per month, so that money is set aside without constant effort and reminders. Track your progress and celebrate every new hundred. This helps the brain reinforce the habit of saving. Even if the pace feels slow, remember, the main thing is forward movement. In a year, you will be grateful to yourself for starting specifically today. Your future self will thank you. And now a question for you. What amount would, personally, be that magic mark for you, after which you would feel complete control over your finances? Perhaps it's the first $1,000, $10,000, or even more. Every person feels this point differently. Write in the comments, we'll discuss it. I'm genuinely interested to know your opinion and your experience. Sometimes it's these discussions that help you look at money and goals from a new angle. Don't forget to subscribe to the Sem Invests channel if you want to learn how to turn the first $1,000 into $10,000 and beyond. Here we talk about the real mechanics of wealth, not empty promises and quick schemes. In the next videos, we will break down specific strategies that help money start working for you. This was Sem. Thank you for watching this video until the end. See you in the next episode.